Welcome to Pathway Stones Podcast. Here you'll find honest conversations about faith, family, struggle, purpose, culture, and the lessons that the journey teaches us. There's no scripts, no polished performances, just real people talking about the things that matter most. Our faith isn't something we turn on and off when the cameras start rolling. It's simply the road that we've walked. It's the foundation beneath our feet, and the reason we kept putting one foot in front of the other. So whether you share our faith, you're still searching, or you're just looking for something real, you've got a seat at this table. So pour yourself a cup of coffee, pull up a chair, and let's leave another stone on the trail. Welcome to Pathway Stones. Welcome back, Bruce.
Hey, Zach, I'm glad to be back.
Yeah,
Thank
welcome
you.
back to your home.
Exactly.
We are
the studio.
The studio downstairs, having a great time. I love the way this has turned out. This has been a lot of fun. Have had tremendous response from our followers, the people that have been tuning in, listening to our conversations. It seems like every time we end a conversation, it's been kind of on a cliffhanger, and I get these calls saying, or these texts saying, when's the next episode dropping? Because I need to know what happened. So let's just jump right in.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
I think last time where we left off in this conversation, you had just gotten information. You just gotten a promotion. Y'all were moving to Boston. I think
right.
Is that
Boston
right?
Boston area. Yep.
And you had you said that you were in Wales over in the UK, and you had gotten a phone call that was just a gut punch.
Right.
Just let's just jump back in right there.
Yeah.
And tell us what was going on for you emotionally when you get this phone call that your baby boy, right, your youngest son, that has been dealing with loss in his life. I mean, the only way for us to really recap and say the things that have been going on is you've got to go back and watch the other episodes.
Yeah,
there is so much.
Right.
I mean, he was just about almost a victim of human trafficking.
Right.
He had run away, was on his way to California. Before that, he had lost, was it one or two friends? One friend.
Yeah.
Really started blaming God.
Right.
And so he's in this downward spiral.
Right.
And then he gets the news that you guys, you and your wife thought it would be a fresh start. It would be just what the family needs.
Right.
But when he gets the news, it's exactly the opposite, right?
That's right.
So let's jump in right there. Tell us a little bit about what was going on.
Yeah. So we made the move to Massachusetts. My older son, I have to give him a lot of credit because he left all of his buddies.
Right.
And made a real fresh start of it, We enrolled both boys in Christian school.
Yeah. Just as a reminder, the oldest is a junior in school.
He was a junior in school at the time,
and the
younger freshman.
It was a freshman,
right?
Okay.
So he moves. We all move out there. He embraces the school he's in, makes a lot of friends. My younger son did the same thing, but a ton of resistance. And here's the deal. During this episode here, we're going to summarize a lot.
Oh, there's a lot of
because it's worse, right? It's worse than you could ever imagine. So he was very resistant, did not want to go to the school. It was obvious that he was getting more and more involved in drugs. He did some really crazy things. I mean, once he faked his death, or tried to fake his death. It was really kind of a messed up thing. I think what he was trying to do is make it look like he was injured with a bullet and somebody kidnapped him. He was just trying to sneak off somewhere, right?
Wow.
Of course, that all didn't go anywhere.
Wow. So this happened at your home?
At our home in Massachusetts.
Wow.
So, we bought him a car.
Yeah.
Right? Because out there it was just, we were out in the middle of nowhere, and
he's turned 16.
He's
right?
turned 16 by
turned
this
16
time.
in January.
Didn't want to go to the Christian school anymore, so we took him out of there and enrolled him someplace else. We
Yeah.
had 3 or 4 different bouts with counseling. None of that worked. It was obvious that he was doing more and more with drugs. He got this car, and within 3 weeks had already lost his license.
Oh, wow.
Wrecked it 3 or 4 times.
Oh, my goodness.
I get a call, or I get a call, about the fact he's not going to school at all, right?
Yeah.
So, which is not good. I'm trying to get him back in school, and we're trying to, make that little balance there between enabling and
Right. Between compassion and
enabling, and we were not playing it right. So we gave him a lot of chances. None of those things were really working. One night, continual downward spiral. He's hanging out with kids, which we don't think are the right kids.
Right.
And we try to, get him out of that mode, but we're not really getting anywhere because he's so defiant.
Yeah.
One night, somebody's screaming at the front door. It's like 2:00 in the morning. I go to the front door, and there's my son and 2 of his friends, and one of the kids' head is just all tore up, and he's bleeding profusely.
Oh, my goodness.
And said what happened, and the word was, so and so was driving his car, and he drove off a cliff, right?
Oh, my.
So I'm hearing the story. Something doesn't seem right. The police show up at the door.
Oh, boy.
And they start asking questions. And started quizzing me. Well, it turns out that my son was driving the car.
Intoxicated?
They were high.
Yeah.
Took the kid to the emergency room. Had to cover those expenses.
Wow.
Had to buy this kid a new car.
Wow.
Right? Did I have to? I did because I start to enable.
Yeah.
Right? Thinking that if I do the next thing, it's going to be the difference maker. Right? So get this. We're now moving to a new company in Illinois.
Right.
He doesn't want to go to Illinois. So I purchase an apartment for him to live in Massachusetts.
Wow.
Within 1 week, he's thrown out of it.
Thrown out of his own apartment.
Yeah, for breaking the rules of the apartment.
Wow.
So I get him another apartment. Right? You want to talk about master enabler? I get him another apartment, thinking that that's going to be the thing that gets him on the right path.
Right.
I get a phone call. Dad, I'm in big trouble. I'm in Illinois time. He's still in Massachusetts. What happened? Well, I burnt my apartment down.
He burnt his apartment.
Turns out that it's worse than that. He burnt his apartment down. He had distribution levels of pot in his apartment.
Oh, my goodness.
Fire department comes in. They find it. They rescue him. He's living within a quarter of a mile of an elementary school.
Now, we need to put a little context on this. This is before all of the legalization stuff started happening.
Yeah, absolutely, right? Absolutely.
And so this is a big deal.
Big deal.
Having
distribution amounts of drugs within a quarter of a mile of his elementary school.
Wow.
So he's now in jail, right? I'm in Illinois. He's in jail. So I start making phone calls, trying to understand how bad this is. And he said, well, this is like pretty bad. He could go to jail for a long time.
Yeah, absolutely.
I said, okay. So I had a friend from the church out there, and he's a lawyer. I said, I need you to be my son's lawyer. I convinced the state of Massachusetts to allow me to come and get him, bring him to Illinois, understanding that he would have to be drug tested every week.
Wow.
And that he'd have to come back for hearings. And the likely outcome would be he'd be going to jail.
Wow.
So I go get him, move him to Illinois. I find a place
that's a felony, right?
It's a felony.
Having that much drugs, that close
distribution level, a scale, all of that.
We're talking not just a couple of years. We're talking
could be.
Yeah.
Right. So they allow me to go get him. He has to be drug tested every week. I find a place for him to live. Put him in that place. We're going back and forth to Massachusetts for hearings.
Yeah.
He stays straight for 6 months. No failed drug tests. They end up saying we're going to, because of what he's been doing and his record, we're going to expunge his file.
Wow.
But if he ever comes back to Massachusetts, does anything like this, he's going to the pen.
Ooh.
Right. So now he's in Illinois, right? He's in Illinois, living in an apartment which he trashes. I buy him a car so he can start a job. At this point, he's 19.
So we're talking, this is over the course of 4 years.
4 years, right.
That you've been walking your son through this 3.5, 4 years of these moments where you see a little bit of hope, and then all of a sudden it just
nothing.
Yeah, no resolution to this type of stuff.
And and this is where things really started to erupt in the family, right? Which is, I would say, this is what we're going to go do. I would get the head shake. Yeah, that's what we're going to go do.
Yeah.
And then go to execute that, and I'm the only one standing there.
Wow.
Right.
So anyway, that has to be horrible.
It was,
as far as trying to navigate that. So let's we're going to come back to this, but there's a couple of things that popped up in my mind while you were talking. The first question I have is, during these 4 years, what kind of people were? I'm sure you and your wife weren't just willy-nilly making decisions. Y'all had to have some counsel, right? There had to be some.
Did.
What were the people around you saying?
Well, it's really interesting. We had counsel.
Yeah. And I'm not talking about like legal.
No, I understand. It wasn't particularly good. Matter of fact, I was heading up the men's ministry at the church we were going at, and I got called into the office and said, you could no longer be in charge of the men's ministry.
Wow.
And I said, we had like 100 guys going to this thing.
Right.
I said, well, why is it? Because you can't control your family.
Oh, wow.
So you can no longer be in charge of the ministry because your family's in a really bad spot, and you're not fit to do that job.
You're not fit for ministry, right?
And those are the same people I'm seeking counsel from, by the way.
Right.
So anyway, that was really a bad deal.
So what did that do for you on a personal level?
Oh, it was devastating.
To have the pastor or the shepherd or the spiritual leader over your life look at the situation that you had you didn't create this situation.
I did not. No.
You were just simply trying to keep your head above water, to keep your family from drowning, and trying to do everything under the sun just to find a little bit of hope. Right. Only to have those that would or should be the strongest support for you to come in and say, yeah.
It was a gut punch.
Wow.
Right. And I tell you what, that was all difficult, but we couldn't get the right kind of help. Maybe, I don't know. He certainly wasn't accepting it.
Now, was he still going to church with you guys reluctantly, or not at all?
No. I mean, at that age, I can't make him do anything.
Well, I know we had talked about that he still blamed God a lot for a lot of the stuff that happened in the beginning. Yeah. And
at this point, he didn't believe in God.
And we're 3.5 years into this process. Right. He's grown extremely cold, and has found himself in the cycle of destruction over and over and over. It is starting to bleed over into your family.
Oh, big time. And it gets worse. Worse.
So tell me about Josh. How was like we see the story of the prodigal son, and we focus in on the son that runs away and the father that greets him, but there's always the son that stayed behind even in the story with the prodigal son, there's a little bit of resentment there.
Well, there was a lot of resentment there with my older son, and quite frankly, I didn't fully understand it for a while. Right, I was so focused on trying to get the one fixed. That the one that wasn't broken was becoming broken.
Wow.
Right?
Oh, gosh.
And there was a lot of resentment. Like, you're spending all your time with him and you're ignoring me.
How did that realization hit for you?
It was tough.
Tell us about that day.
Yeah. So he just, one time he just said, I feel alone in this whole deal here because you're so focused on him. He's the bad kid.
Wow.
I'm not the bad kid. I never do anything that would disappoint you like that. And I feel all alone because all of your time is focused on him and you're not focusing on me.
Wow.
That Boy, did I try to change that dynamic immediately? I
Yeah.
sure did. Took a long time for he and I to get to a point where.
And now,
You know,
is,
we were
is
okay
your
with it.
relationship with him? Is
Oh,
it?
we
Is it
have a
better?
fantastic relationship.
Good.
He's a great guy. He's always been a great Christian young man.
That still
He's
has
a great
to be-
father.
That still has to be just a gut punch
Oh.
when you're walking, and I get it. You know, you're doing everything you can just to survive, just to get
Right,
through,
right.
just to make it up that
Right,
next hill,
right.
and you forget that there are people that are walking with you,
Yeah.
walking alongside of you, that are following close behind you,
Mm-hmm.
and the struggle gets so deep, and so you get so focused on just putting one foot in front of the other that you forget that if we don't walk at the right pace, and if we aren't attentive of the people that we're with, we're going to lose them too.
That's right. Right. And I think that a lot of times when people walk through these situations, they forget about that.
Absolutely.
Right. And if you don't catch it
Yeah.
and correct it, then it's, lifelong consequences. Right.
You've lost on both hands.
Yeah.
Right.
So anyway, things just got worse and worse and worse. He's either stealing money or taking credit cards or whatever to pay for his drug habit.
Now let's talk about his drug habit a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I think if we aren't careful, we will blister right through this, because there's a lot here.
Yeah.
And when we say that there's a lot of stuff that we're just kind of summarizing, like, I've heard the entire story.
Yeah.
There's no way for us to put it all in this. It got bad.
It did. Yeah. So
Let's focus on a little bit. I want to kind of hit something before we lose this moment.
Right.
I know I'm always the type of person that is looking for cause and effect. All right, and we see a lot of. It's very easy to draw lines between, okay, this happened, so this happened in this story.
Right.
Why do you think Aaron decided that he was gonna start using marijuana just out of the blue?
Yeah, I don't think it was out of the blue.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I go back to my childhood. Right, my dad
Right.
used alcohol to numb the pain.
Yeah.
I would say that my son was trying to do the same thing,
Numbing the pain.
numbing the pain.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
And that's not to be an excuse,
Yeah.
right? Because there's lots of ways to numb the pain. That happens to be a very destructive one.
Yeah. So you say that there's lots of ways to numb the pain. I think there's an important distinction that we need to make. There's a difference between numbing the pain and processing the pain.
Right.
And there was a lot of pain involved in this story.
Yeah, and I don't think he ever processed it.
Yeah.
Obviously, anytime there's that kind of heartbreak, and everybody has heartbreak in their lives. I'm
Life is
not going to
full
sit
of
here for a minute and say to the viewers here that doesn't happen to everybody, but you can give it to God,
Yeah.
or you cannot.
Yeah.
Right? And giving it to God doesn't make the circumstance go away, but it makes it so you can get through it.
Yeah.
And every day is a get through it day. Day is a get through it. Or it can be a day where you're trying to poison yourself to numb the pain.
So we're gonna end up talking about enabling. We know that's where our conversation is going today, because you've mentioned it several times. You fully admit your fault in this. I have this opinion, and it's a soapbox issue for me. I'm not a participation trophy kind of guy.
Right. Me neither.
Yeah, I hate them. Right.
Yeah. Right.
Like I understand what the intention is, but the intention falls woefully short of what the good it brings. I personally have coached my children through T-ball, and they got to a point at the recreation department in Candler County. They told me some of the parents didn't want me coaching T-ball because I would keep score. In T-ball, you just get up there and hit the ball, and nobody.
Right.
And the kids, did we win? And this coach is saying, yeah, we won, and that coach is saying, yeah, we won. Well, the truth is that somebody had to lose.
Exactly.
Right?
That's right.
So I would keep scoring. I would tell the kids, no, we didn't win this time. Well, why not? It's because Johnny was out there building the sandcastle when he should have been playing third base, right?
Yeah.
Or Susie was out there doing pirouettes in outfield because she really wants to take dance, and her mom and her dad wants a softball chick in his home, right? So I would keep scoring. I would tell my kids, and this is the way that I've parented, and I know that you have the same motto. I wanted my kids to know what loss was like on a small level,
Right.
because it's very easy to coach and to parent through a T-ball loss.
Exactly.
It's a lot harder to coach your son through losing his best friend.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And I'll be honest with you, I wasn't equipped for that. I mean, I don't know who would be.
I don't know who
Right.
would be either.
But I obviously wasn't equipped to deal with that, at the time.
Yeah.
Maybe I couldn't have done anything different with my parenting. I don't really know, but it was tough.
So the reason I bring that up is not to make you feel any worse or anyone else that's listening to feel any worse about decisions and paths that we've walked out. Listen, those things are done, and if we keep dwelling on those things, we're just doomed to keep in that cycle of destruction. What I really want our listeners to hear today is this: there's a right way to process the pain, and there's a wrong way to process the pain. And things like alcohol, and I've talked to a lot of addicts, a lot of people who are addicted to things even beyond substances. I mean, you talk to there are men out there that there's so much pain at home that they just pour themselves into their work and they become workaholics, and it's just as destructive to their families as it is for a father that's out there getting drunk and not able to show up and showing up at baseball games and stuff as a drunk and embarrassing his family and stuff. And the distinction between I think, and I'm not trying to lump everybody into this bucket, all right, because there are, I really believe that there are people who have serious problems, but I think the vast majority of people who find themselves in this cycle of addiction are trying to or numb some pain.
I think that's right.
And if we don't have a proper place, and if we don't have a healthy place to process the difficult losses in our life, they start piling up, and we start looking to substances, and we start looking to things to do the job that I personally believe only God can do.
That's right. I think you're right.
And I kind of see this in the pattern of Aaron, just walking away from, and I'm not throwing rocks. I'm not blaming him one bit. I've had those moments where I shook my fist at heaven and said, why, God, would you let I lost a dear friend at the age of 16 in a tragic accident, and she was one of the brightest moments of anybody's day. She walks in a room and she just lights it up. Right. And I had this moment where I just shook my fist at God and said, why would you take her who loved you and was serving you? And there's all of these convicts out there, all of these child molesters, there's all of these bad people, right? And the loving thing is this: God didn't get offended by my questions.
Yeah.
I think that sometimes we don't take those hurts to God because we feel like that maybe it's disrespectful.
Could be.
Or maybe there's hurt and we don't understand. But what I do know is that God is the only one that can help us process a lot of that pain. So I just, I'm blown away by your ability to walk through this and hold on to your faith and hold on to the hope, because there's not a whole lot of parents.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you, sometimes though, handling it was very mechanical,
Yeah.
And that is, you just, it's like, one foot in front of the other, one foot in front of the other. Maybe tomorrow's going to be a better day.
Yeah.
Right? The problem is that, he was doing coke.
Wow.
He was doing a lot of pot.
Yeah.
Ritalin was one of his favorite things.
Yeah.
If you couldn't get any of those things, he'd get alcohol. It was just, all the time. Wow. And we kind of got to a point where our family dynamics, because of what was going on, were just shot.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm going to just be very transparent here. Our marriage did not last.
Yeah.
And I don't want to think for a moment that there aren't things that we could have done to maybe salvage it.
Yeah.
But it got to a point where there was a lot of resentment, because I would think this is what we got to go do. We got to stand firm on this. And then the next thing, that's not what we did. I'll give you an example. I come home from a business trip. This will probably floor you. I come home from a business trip, and my wife meets me at the door, and she says, well, Aaron's been going to this counselor, and he's come up with this plan that will help Aaron, get off drugs. I said, oh, okay. What would that be?
It wasn't quit?
Well, yeah, I thought quit might be good,
Right.
but it was like, it's a process to wean him off of it. And I go, oh, okay, what does that mean? Well, we're going to buy the drugs ourselves, and we're going to divvy it out to him in little amounts. And every week we lower the amount, and eventually he'll lose his dependence for this.
Wow.
And I said, so let me see if I get this straight. I'm an executive for a big drug company, and I have a huge
legal
job.
drugs.
Legal
not
drugs.
Legal drugs.
And
right.
so what you're suggesting is that we buy illegal drugs and keep them in our house.
Wow.
Yeah. Yes. And I said, was somebody going to ask me about this before we did it? She goes, well, we've already done it. There's $3,000 worth of marijuana in our house right now. I said,
now what would that have done to your career?
My career would have been over. I would have been in jail.
Exactly.
What are you talking about? I would have been in jail. And it's just like, how did you on your own make that call?
Wow.
And then I'll give you another story. I'm in California on a business trip, right? And of course, there's a 3-hour time difference, right? So my phone rings, and it's my wife screaming at the top of her lungs. I said, what's going on? I'm being held hostage. By who?
Your wife was being held hostage.
By who? Our son. I said, how is he holding you hostage? Well, he's taken the car keys away, and he won't let me have them back. And I said, where are you? We're at a drug dealer's house.
Oh, my goodness.
How did you get to a drug dealer's house? Well, he needed more drugs, so I took him here to get it. I said, you took him to a drug house to buy drugs. How much drugs were you going to buy? $800 worth.
Oh, my goodness.
And I said, why did you put yourself in this situation? Because the drug dealer says he's going to break his legs if our son doesn't pay him.
Oh, my goodness.
What should I do? I said, call the doggone police. But it's our son. I said, I don't care who it is. You cannot do those things. Wow. Right? Man. So that's the dynamics that we were living with. But here's the deal. I want to just lay it out here. We spent $500,000 over 6 years enabling our son to be in the situation he was in. And I'm not making that number up.
Wow.
We paid for apartments that were burned down. We paid bills. We bought cars. We paid rent.
You're not exaggerating.
I'm not exaggerating. I rented a new apartment for him. And here's the deal. When you are a master enabler like I became, you're doing it because you think the next thing is going to turn the switch. And it does not. It never does. So here's what let me tell you. Yeah. Here's what turned the switch. You ready? He put himself in a situation where he's either going to go to jail or he's going to go to a drug program. We had already put him in 3 30-day drug programs, which
Right.
I'm going to just tell the whole audience are totally worthless.
Yeah.
And every time he came out of there looking for drugs.
Wow.
So here was the deal. I found a place in California, Newport Beach.
Yeah.
You go to this, it's total immersion. You won't have a phone. You won't have any contact with us. You won't have this or that. You either get on the plane and go tomorrow morning with the escort, or you're going to prison.
Wow.
Those are your choices. Do you imagine?
Now, how old was he when this happened?
He was 22 years old.
So we're talking
A span
me
of
do the-
6 years. $500,000 with no progress.
Wow.
And me flipping money out like crazy and rationalizing the behavior.
So let's talk about this enabling thing.
Yeah.
It sounds like both you and your wife, in different ways, became master enablers.
Absolutely.
And what did you think would happen if you stopped helping? I'm air quotes around helping, right?
Yeah.
Because
so the reality is, the next session we're going to go into lots of detail here, but let me just say it this way: you enable to make yourself feel good.
So it's a selfish thing.
It's a selfish thing.
Wow.
See, and you put it in terms of, well, this is going to be the thing that turns him. The reality is, what you're saying is, I'm doing this because I can say I've done all I can do.
Yeah. Was there any of those decisions? Was it revolving around he'll leave, he'll get arrested, he'll
smash another car up.
Keep
he'll kill himself. I had terrible thoughts about. I called them my slab days.
What do you mean by
Cold
that?
slab days, where you get called in by the coroner to identify your son
my
on a cold
gosh.
slab because he's dead.
Wow. So during these 6 years, were there like ever moments of clarity?
Absolutely.
That for you guys, that where you thought, I can't do this. This isn't helping. This is not. I mean, because 6 years.
Oh, you know what? You convince yourself to try a lot of things.
That's a lifetime, right?
Yeah. But there were times where he's in jail, and I said, just leave him there.
So was there ever a moment where you knew what you needed to do, but you just absolutely couldn't bring yourself to
several times.
Yeah, what
I
was
should have
that
let
like?
him go to jail.
Yeah.
Should have let him go to jail. Toughest thing I can say right now as a parent is I should have let my kid go to jail.
Wow.
Because that's the bottom of the pit that he needed to go to. Go back to the prodigal son story. Let's talk about that for a minute.
Okay.
He was at the absolute bottom of the pit.
Yeah.
Before he looked up.
He was eating with the swine.
Eating with the
But
swine.
as a Jew, that was you couldn't get any lower,
It
right?
couldn't be any worse than that, right? But he needed to be at that spot, and guess what? I got him there. You know how I got him there? So you have a choice.
Yeah.
Get on the plane and go. Go to jail. My wife fought me on that.
Yeah.
Guess what? He got on a plane, went to California.
Wow.
Things started to become clear.
In 6 years, how many times do you think you said the statement just one more time?
Every day.
Every day.
Every
Gosh. Wow. I'm over here trying to do the math. It's 365 days a year over the course of
Every day.
6 years.
If I do this one thing,
Yeah.
if I do this one thing, today's the end of this. Today's the end. And it never was. Guess what? California.
Yeah. So
saved his life.
Was it harder? Was it harder saying yes every day, or was it harder saying no?
Harder saying no.
Yeah.
And again, it goes back to the whole theme of enabling, right? Is if I do one more thing, one more thing, this is going to be the thing. This is going to be it. Reality is, you convince yourself that's true, but what you're really saying is this: I did my part. I gave him another chance. I did this. I did that. Not on me. The reality is, it's the worst thing you can do.
Absolutely.
Enabling is not really about the other person. It's really about you.
Gosh. Wow. Man, Bruce, there's There's so much I wish we had the time to just really dive in.
Let's go into this, though.
Okay.
I know we're getting late in this, but there is a bit of a good news story.
All right.
He got on the plane, went with the transporter to California. The rules were he has no cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot talk to him. In 2 months, you can maybe come and see him, but that'll be all on our terms.
Wow.
2.5 months into it,
Man.
they call and say, it's time for you to come out and see your son. Because he is not ready for anything other than the fact that you need to see progress. So come out.
So I know one of the reasons why people enable and why they keep allowing their loved one to be in the cycle of destruction and helping in the destruction of the cycle is there's this fear of loss. Yeah. I'm going to lose him if I don't do something.
Right. That's right. That's what I call those slab days, cold slab days.
So was there a level of control? Maybe it's not the steep drop that he needs, but I can just control the fall so he doesn't hurt himself so bad. I mean, was there some?
Oh,
was that
absolutely.
Part of the process?
See, that's part of the problem. I believe that in most situations, and I hope everybody gets this because this is really important. I think in most situations, people are trying to cradle them so they don't fall so far.
Yeah.
Here's the deal: if they don't reach the bottom, there's no looking up.
Wow.
And I tell you what, I try. I can tell you, I tried it over and over again. Well, I'm going to just try to cradle his fall a little bit, so it's not so bad. And the reality was, that was very harmful to do.
So did you struggle with guilt of this
daily,
every day?
Every day.
Wow.
Every day I struggle with guilt, thinking that I'm going to do the right thing today, and it turned out that it would be another wrong thing.
Yeah. 6 years.
6 years.
Man.
So we went out and saw him. He said the head of the program says he's going to ask for his phone.
Yeah.
He's going to ask to be able to talk to his friends.
You got to say no.
And the answer is no.
Yeah.
And he's going to complain to you about everything under the sun when you get here. Get there. I hate my roommate. I need to be in a room by myself. Look at the head of the program. He goes, not a possibility. I need to be able to talk to my friends back home. Not a possibility.
Wow.
I need to be able to have weekly conversations with my mom and dad. Not a possibility.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And then he said, we love you. Hang in there. Got on a plane, went home. Fight all the way home with my wife.
That must have been
fight all the way home. Get home.
Because I know what a mother's heart would be, right? And it doesn't matter. Right. It doesn't matter the situation.
Right.
A mother's going to have a little bit more. Generally, going to have a little bit more of a compassionate tone and wanting to. We can't leave him there. We can't. This is not helping or I. As much as I love my wife, I know exactly what that conversation would be like the entire way home between us.
But here's the important thing, Zach. I reached a point where I knew what the right answer was every day.
Yeah.
No.
The answer was no. Wow.
I even had conversations with my wife at the time about, well, maybe we can get him like a burner phone. I said, no.
Huh.
Well, I really want to call him. Right? I said, I will take your phone from you.
Yeah.
If I have to.
Wow.
All right. 4 months later, they call and say, you need to come out and see your son again. Flew out there. Different kid.
Wow. Wow.
First words out of his mouth were, I can see clearly now.
Man. Wow.
He wasn't ready to come home.
But he was getting there. Finally. After 6-7 years of...
Yeah.
So I know that as parents, we have we have this ability to just pile guilt on ourselves about what happens with our families and stuff. How do for those that are listening, how do you explain what the difference between healthy compassion is and unhealthy responsibility?
Well, I think you have to look at the scriptures.
Yeah.
I think scriptures are pretty clear. There's lots of examples of good parenting.
Yeah.
And none of them are about enabling.
Right.
There's not one good scripture that says enabling is a really good idea.
No, I don't. Hold on now. Wait a minute. Now. I don't know what Bible you're reading, because the Bible that I read said that the father, as soon as the son went off to that foreign land, he went and stayed with his son in the foreign land. That's not how that happened.
No.
He didn't
left him there.
He let him go to the
Let him
bottom.
go. Let him fall on his face.
Wow.
Hoping that number one, he wouldn't.
Yeah.
Number two, that he would come home.
You want to talk about tough? Oh gosh.
Let me tell you the story. I got to tell you.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's go back to the FBI meeting.
Okay, which one?
The first
The one in
day.
California.
The one in California.
Okay.
I walk in and I see a 15-year-old kid. Doesn't really know what happened.
Yeah.
Or he chooses not to know what happened.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have heard, I can see clearly now.
Yeah, right.
Sorry, but it took 6.5 years
Yeah.
before I finally heard the words. I can see clearly now.
Wow.
Let me tell you the rest of the good news.
You gotta stop.
I'm sorry.
You're
but
killing me over here, Smalls.
I'm sorry. I don't know if you're supposed to cry.
I don't know.
But anyway,
Maybe there's something we can do in post
I don't know.
post editing.
Just
Yeah.
Anyway, he said, I'm not ready to come home.
Yeah. That's big.
4 months later, they said, you need to come out again.
Yeah.
We've made your son a counselor in the program.
Wow. Wow.
And he said, I think I'm ready to come home. I said, I don't think you should come home.
Yeah.
He said, well, I want to go live close to home, but I don't want to go all the way home.
Yeah.
He's never done drugs since.
Wow. Praise the Lord. Yeah. I want to talk about leaving pathway stones for people. Yeah, I've been down this path. I've walked this trail before. If you just keep walking, there's daylight on the other side. You may not be at the summit right now, but I promise you, it clears up ahead.
I don't want you to think for a minute that everything came back to normal.
Right.
You know, he's a very damaged guy.
I mean, how could you not be?
You know, I talk to him about Jesus on a daily basis.
Yeah.
We're not there yet.
You know what?
But he supports himself.
Yeah.
He's got his own little business.
Yeah.
No drugs.
Wow. That day will come. Yeah.
I sure
Man.
hope so.
Gosh. I want to talk about
What?
this has been a
It's exhausting, really.
Just-
What it is.
just listening to it. I mean, I'm sitting over here and my stomach is in knots, and then we get to this,
Yeah.
and find that there's freedom at the other end.
And you know, there is,
Yeah.
right? And what I'm hoping that, you know, in the next session, we're going to talk about all the things that you should and shouldn't do to deal with prodigals, right?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, obviously, I've learned a lesson or two about it.
Just one.
But,
Yeah.
you know, the whole next episode is going to be devoted to what to do and what not to do.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of it, folks, I'm going to tell you, is don't be an enabler.
Yeah. So I've got lots of questions. I guess that's when I'm supposed to hold some of these questions for that
Probably
episode
so,
because
yeah.
I think that's going to be a really good a bow that we just get to tie on just this one story. Now, I don't want anybody to think for 1 second that we've reached the end of the of the Bruce Good.
Oh, we got 50
stories,
weeks of
right.
Bruce Good stuff.
Yeah. So what they may not know about you is that you're a golfer and a fisherman, and the thing
you have to be capable of exaggerating a bit in both cases.
There you go. Exactly. It fits, right?
Yeah.
But in this situation, in these stories, we've not exaggerated anything.
No, it's all true. Everything's true.
Yeah. Bruce, thank you so much for being so transparent. I know the lessons and the history didn't come easy.
No.
And I know that you probably still wear scars today. I got to tell my favorite Bruce story. Can I just share?
Sure.
Because it kind of goes hand in hand with something that you said.
We're not going to cry again, are we?
No. I mean, you cried during this story. So we've been friends for, about 5 years now?
5 years. Yeah.
And when I first met you, we would go out on the boats, and I started hearing some of these stories.
Yeah.
And I think there was a something there where we just felt like that we had to do something with this. You're writing a couple of books, and you're going to put some of these nuggets in those books, and I'm super excited about that. But you started telling me that because of all of this that you had walked through, that we come from a Pentecostal background. I'm a Pentecostal with a seatbelt. I don't think that God's involved in everything that he gets blamed on him, right?
Right.
We believe in the power of being filled with the Spirit and stuff. And you had said something. I think I was teaching at the church about the gifts of the Spirit or something like that.
Right.
And you made the statement on the boat that you used to have a personal prayer language, but that you didn't have that anymore. Right. And we got to digging, and a lot of it I feel like was birthed out of maybe some poor shepherding and maybe some. And I'm not even willing to put all of it at their feet. Maybe it was ignorance on their part of not knowing how to walk this out, right? But regardless, you walked away from that hurt spiritually,
right?
And for years, there was this absence of the evidence of praying in a personal prayer language, and
it was like I was in a spiritual coma. I mean, let's just say it that way, which is very dry. I lost a lot of my ability to communicate with the Lord, and a lot of it started with you can't be in charge of the men's ministry anymore.
Right. Talk about a wound.
Yeah, and then then it's just years and years and years of the pain.
Right.
I know what you're going to say next.
Yeah. Remember what I told you on the boat? I said, well, I'm going to pray about that.
Yeah.
And then the next thing I know, it's a Sunday or two after that that trip out on the boat, and we always did this little meet and greet in the transition between worship and bringing the word. You come running down the aisles, tears were running down your face because you don't cry at all, right?
Not much.
Not much. And you could hardly get out the words out of your mouth. He gave it back to me. And I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And you just sobbed and turned and said, I've got my prayer language back. And you turned and ran away from me. And you left me there at the altar.
I remember that day. Yeah.
I'm sitting there. I'm supposed to speak now. Yeah. And all I know is that I've just been confronted with the amazing love of God that doesn't give up, and it pursues us. And
it's really important that I say this.
Hold on, I got.
Okay,
I'll turn it back over.
Go ahead.
But not only has God given you those things back, but He's deepened it.
Yeah.
And He wakes you up in the middle of the night, and He speaks to you in ways that sometimes you call me and you say, I don't know what to do with this.
Yeah.
And to me, it's just beautiful.
Yeah. And here's something that y'all ought to get. I mean, you really need to get this, and that is sometimes the healing process for this kind of life trauma takes a long time
Yeah.
to get there.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm there now, but I mean, it took a long time. I mean, many, many years to get to a point where I could say that, I'm healed of it, of the trauma. The scars are finally don't hurt anymore.
Yeah. Wow.
But God can do that for anybody who's in the spotlight.
That's right. We wanted to say thank you again for being vulnerable. And if you have gotten anything out of this, we'd love to hear from you. We love feedback.
Absolutely.
We're going to try and respond to the comments on YouTube. Love hearing from you guys. If you have questions, if you need help, Bruce and I both feel like that this is an area that we were created to help people walk through these journeys.
That's right.
And there's nothing that makes either one of us feel more fulfilled than when we are doing what we feel like we were created to do.
That's right.
And it gives our pain purpose.
Absolutely.
And so we just want to say this, that thank you for tuning in.
Thank you so much.
We know that life's journey has a way of changing all of us, right? If you've walked down this journey long enough, you know that. Some stones are sitting there over the places where we've stumbled. Some stones that we encounter are the places that remind us where God carried us through.
That's right.
And there are also other stones that are there because someone else has been there before we ever walked this path.
Right.
So this week, here's what we'd like for you to do. And I think it's from both of us. We want you to keep your eyes open. Look for the pathway stones that God is providing. And if you don't find one, leave one. Because someone's coming behind you, and they're not far behind you, and they need to hear the places that you've been. So for us, we're going to say we'll see you down the trail.
Happy trails.
Good job, man.